All right, Squid Games is officially over. And I was really struggling to call season 3 like season 3, or is it season 2, part 2? We're calling it season 3, folks. We're calling it season 3. And I'll say the most bonkers thing is the last 3 minutes of this show. When I saw who was in that alley, it didn't even need to be a close up. I said, is that who I think it is? And it was. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing Squid Game Season 3. What's about pretty simple premise? We are right after Season 2, and we got 2 more games to play. Is it 2 or 3? 3 more games to play. We have hide and seek, we have jump rope, and then we have don't fall off a tower, if you want to put it that way. So those are the 3 games we have, but instead of also focusing on those 3 games, we have the detective trying to look for his brother, and who can he trust? We also have the guy who is, people don't like him, but I thought he was the best character, where he was with the detective, also with the main character, trying to figure out who is the main guy in the train station. And also we're getting the North Korean girl. We're also getting contestant 243. We're also getting some other characters in the backstory, as well as mostly 222 and her baby and the husband. So, did I like this show? I thought it was fine. Something about it, I was missing the magic. I understand they're going to go for dread in this movie, and I understand completely. But I have issues. I truly have issues with what is occurring with the main character. I'm going to spoil it, because this has been like 5 days, so let's start off. He dies to save the baby. Okay, so when that occurs, knowing that he has a daughter in Los Angeles, I kind of gave up hope, because yes, I understand killing a baby is fucking horrific, but you have your own daughter, and you don't know how this baby's going to live. Is this baby going to, even survive? You don't know. Who's taking the baby, and who actually has the baby at this point? Like, is it even going to take care of it? I understand what they're going for, and the last game itself, it was going that route, but I felt like there was so much idiocracy with some of these characters of like, really? That's what we're doing? Fine, okay, whatever. The jump rope one, I thought that was actually a pretty simple game. That is the one game where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can make it across pretty damn simply, period, end of subject. The hide and seek one is a little bit terrifying. That one is a little bit fucking terrifying. But with these side stories, you're either going to like it or kind of be annoyed that we are like, I want to say 70-30 or 60-40 with, are we going to focus on the games? Or are we focusing outside the games? Are we focusing inside the games, outside the games? And how this ends, being in America, in Los Angeles, I do think it has a good route of going somewhere with, where it could go. Can America have its own little conglomerate of this? Of course, the rumor was David Fincher was going to do it, but apparently those were all rumors. Now David Fincher is doing the Quentin Tarantino script, How to Train Your Dragon, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel. So I don't know what's going to happen. But like I said, I'm going to tell you who the person in the alley was, Cate Blanchett. And I was like, oh my God, they got her. But I'm thinking, if they continue this on, she needed to be a higher up character. I understand people are like, well, race swapping or gender swapping. Somehow Cate Blanchett being like the head leader of this shit could fucking work. I could see her just destroying the games and winning it and beating it. I understand people might not say that, but I don't know. Her face, her charismaticness, her in other movies like Black Bag, Lord of the Rings, and a shit ton others, Tar, I feel like she could be there. But having her be on a low totem pole is kind of fun, seeing her doing that in her heels and doing it with the homeless people. You know what you're getting, because it's directed by the same guy, it's written by the same guy, the look, the feel, the overall shenanigans of it. And there are dilemmas in this film or TV series of like, whose fault is it of beating this business? And I know a lot of people wanted to be like a complete anti-capitalistic movie going through and through, but if you keep like hammering to the head with that point, it's going to get tiring to the viewers. So I do understand why they kind of went the route of like, what are humans? What are humans capable of? And things like that. And it's like, will humans, what will they do? Are they really that greedy when it comes to the money? Because also at a point when you're to the last 9, 8 contestants, like, are you really willing to, yes, the money pot now goes higher and higher, but it's like, will I take 10 million? Yes, you can get 139 million. That's a complete fucking huge. But are you willing to die for 120 million not knowing? Or you have 10 million kind of be set for life? And that Crypto King bitch, I hated his character with a fucking passion. I think at a point, like, yo, really? You're really going to do that? And it's absolutely fucking frustrating on some of these characters. I understand that's the whole point of hating some of these characters, especially the drug guy, which I feel like getting, hooked on a pill only twice. That doesn't feel right. But what do I know? Because I don't take pills that way. Like, I rarely even take Advil or Tylenol. So that's just not me as a character. But also the cops as a whole, like, I would think the main cop for 2 years, if he's trying to find this island and you're not finding it, you would think that, maybe this Park character that's, Captain Park that's trying to help me, maybe he has some, dirty shit with it, and you would start needing to believe other people, especially the one guy that's been with you for 2 fucking years. So little things like that. So is it a breeze to watch these last 6 episodes? Absolutely. They go by with a freaking breeze. It's fun. But I feel like the games in season 2 are a little bit better, especially with the 5-game one. It felt more like Project 100, if I'm saying that right, where it's like the Korean show with being like badassery, like strong motherfuckers. That's what it kind of felt like. These games are more cynical, and I completely understand that. Like I said, people are either going to love or hate the ending, and what I'm seeing from the critics score, they're liking it. Audience score is not liking it so much, but it's still a breeze to watch through. It's some oh shit moments. I do feel like some storylines were a little bit underwhelming, especially with 243, his daughter, and the North Korean girl. I felt like that storyline really was tacked on, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it, of what is occurring. But overall, Squid Games Season 3, I still enjoyed what I watched. Yes, it makes you think about humanity and what we are willing to really do. And looking at today's world, and we're not giving a fuck about anything, sure. Especially with, like, you could talk about politics, because this is kind of a political thing of, like, all the rich people think they could do whatever they want. And let's look at Elon Musk, right? He doesn't like what's happening with the bill. Sure, he might have it, but he's going to primary everyone. It's like, that's where we need to get money out of politics. And if I was president for a day or in Congress for a day, I would put in a bill saying you could only donate money to either your district that you live in or state you live in. President, that's full-fledged, but everything else, no. But overall, Squid Game Season 3, I think is a overall satisfying conclusion with what is going to occur. Yes, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending, it's probably the most plausible thing with who he is as a character. Maybe? Maybe not. Because at a point, if you really want the baby to live, do you just stab every motherfucker in the neck? And I think at a point, you do. So Squid Games Season 3 will receive a 3.5 out of 5 Futons, which equals at 70%. Let's see what the critics and user scores gave this one. So Season 3, we are at critics are at 79. So critics like this actually the least out of all seasons. Audience, a 50% with over 1,000. Critic consensus. The games reach a glim crescendo in the cinematic third season, repeating familiar beats with a ruthlessness that drives creator Hwang Dong-hyuk's themes home. If I said his name wrong, I'm sorry. I'm an American. Sometimes I'm a fucking idiot. 50, 81, 70. Chase here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of the things, Bhutontopia. You Blue Futon. Thank you for watching. For a great day. I don't care about today, tomorrow, week from now, month, and year from now. We're just going to freak one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And what did you think about that third season?